Good morning, I'm on the Trans-Pennine Express, a really nice train incidentally, from Manchester Piccadilly to Manchester Airport, and I'm taking a flight, first time for about 4 months, with Ryanair over to Berlin, Germany. Really looking forward to it, never been to Berlin before, so it's going to be a good trip. I'm only there for an evening and then I'm flying back tomorrow morning, so come with me for the ride. I hope you enjoy it, and I will speak to you a little bit later on in the journey. Cheers for now. My walk from the railway station to the airport got off to a great start, as I found the first travel agent to be working for once. However, as per usual at Manchester, the other two were still out of order. I do find the walk to Terminal 3 rather disjointed. The tunnel bridge itself is quite nice, supposed to resemble the inside of an airliner. But then you've got to get a lift, then you're outside walking for the rest of the way, and it's almost always raining. At least they've provided some elongated bus shelters to keep you fairly dry. As expected, the shops were closed downstairs, and security was reasonably quiet though. There were still a few Fly-B aircraft parked up awaiting their fate, including this Dash 8. What do you think will happen to them in the future? Leave a comment below with your thoughts. Most gates were eerily quiet on what would normally be a busy summer weekend of holiday travel. However, there were some flights arriving and departing, so I guess it's starting to pick up a little bit. Who wouldn't want to get away from this dismal weather after all? And whilst the airport's quiet, maybe the staff can get around to fixing the air conditioning, which gave off this irritating noise for the duration of my visit. And there was no lounge visit for me today, so I spent most of my time in the departure lounge, and the highlight of which was watching this Emirates Boeing 777-300ER kicking up the spray as it took off for Dubai. And it was soon time to board, and today I would be flying on this 737-800. It's operated by Malta Air, but it retains the branding of its parent company Ryanair, as the rest of its 120 odd aircraft do. Other than priority boarding, which incidentally had a longer queue than the cheapskates queue that I was in, there was no kind of boarding by row system in place for this flight. Passengers used both doors of the aircraft, and we found our own way to our own seats. We took off from runway 23R into what I think was probably the thickest cloud I've seen for a long time. The pilot did say that it was sunny in Berlin, so I was hoping for some improvement in the weather as we neared our destination. The crew served hot food, but they weren't serving hot drinks. I'm not quite sure why. Apparently there was some kind of restriction on it, from what I could make out. Do you know why I couldn't get a coffee on this flight? Leave a comment below if you do. It was pretty warm in the cabin. Most passengers were observing the announcements to use face coverings, but there were a few that weren't, or they weren't using them right. I'm not going to judge. There may be a valid reason why they're not. To be honest, I've been wearing my disposable one for most of the day by now, and it was beginning to get a little bit uncomfortable around the ears. And it was pretty sunny as we made our approach into Berlin's Schonefeld Airport. I noticed a lot of Lufthansa aircraft parked up on the fringes of the airport as we landed, with a bit of a bump incidentally, onto runway 07L. I think we may have flat spotted the tyres there a bit. After taxiing through several EasyJet aircraft dotted about the airport, we arrived at our gate, and it was a short wait for the stairs as we disembarked through both doors onto the super efficient buses. Well, I've just arrived at Berlin Schonefeld Airport, and it's very nice as well. Small airport. It's one for the budget carriers, really. Lots of EasyJet, Ryanair. Beautiful weather. It's 25 degrees, hot. Complete contrast to when I left Manchester, only about, 2 hours now. It's a little walk to the hotel, which is just behind me. You can see it somewhere. There it is. So it's not going to take me too long to get there. I'm going to chill out for a bit, and I'm going to do a bit of touring around the city with a good friend of mine who's going to come and meet me in a bit. So yeah, I look forward to sharing some videos about that, and I will see you a little bit later.
It's an old Cold War aviation museum. So there are some nice aircraft there and other stuff the British left. Some machinery.
I'm here with one of my great friends, Carsten, who lives in Berlin, and we're actually at Tempelhof, which was Berlin, one of Berlin's airports a few years back now. And we're actually standing on runway 09L. There were 2 runways here at Tempelhof, and Carsten's very kindly taken me down here today just so we could walk a little bit on the runway. Now, how unique is that to be able to walk on a runway? I've never done it before in my lifetime, only on and off planes, and that's not the runway itself. So I'm going to have a bit of a look around, take a few more video, and hope you enjoy it. I will see you in a little while. Cheers. The massive and distinctive terminal building at Tempelhof was built in 1927. There are enormous hangars on both sides, and whilst we were there, a tennis tournament was taking place inside one of them. A canopy extended from the building would enable aircraft to pull very close in, so that disembarking passengers could keep themselves protected from the elements. Now, obviously Tempelhof is most famous for the Berlin airlift in 1948. I could sense the historic events that had unfolded in those days as I walked the runway with Carsten. I was interested to learn that when the airport closed in 2008, the people of Berlin insisted that it was utilised as an open public space rather than being sold for development purposes. And from Tempelhof we headed to Teufelsberg, a man-made hill built on the remains of the unfinished Nazi military technical college underneath. The United States National Security Agency built a listening station here to keep tabs on their communist neighbours on the other side. We then toured some of the other main landmarks of Berlin before heading for a well-deserved beer or 3 at the Brauhaus Lemke. So rather than listen to me pronouncing everything incorrectly for the next 5 minutes, why don't you just sit back and enjoy the sights? go. It's,
Prost.
Right, it's going in.
Prost.
Let's do it. Good morning from sunny Berlin. It's a beautiful morning. I'm at the hotel. I'm just about to go back to the airport, get on the Ryanair flight back to Manchester. I've had an absolutely great time, and I want to say a massive thank you to Carsten, who took out some of his own time to take me around Berlin yesterday afternoon and evening. We had a great meal at the end of the night as well. A super day. And I really appreciate that, so thank you very much to Carsten. If you like this video, I'm going to shoot a few more shots just as I leave the airport on the way back. But yeah, if you like the video, then please subscribe, leave some comments if you like. That will be really appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed what I've been filming so far, and stay tuned guys, because I've got loads of trips planned. They're coming up in the next few weeks, so let's get back out there, start travelling again. I've really enjoyed this one, so I'll catch you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers and goodbye.